Do you love to play Magic Online but have a tight budget? Check out Mtgo Academy's Academy Budget Bot in the Magic Online Classifieds. All cards in stock are cheaper than one event ticket.
Alright, hello everyone. Here we are for a vintage daily event. This event fired with only 16 players, which is kind of interesting, considering this is a Friday night. But it is July 4th, and it's possible that there's a lot of people that are out having fun with their families. I had a party I went to yesterday, so I had my phone already. So here I am. I'm going to be playing this event with a Bomberman deck, and this one actually has the namesake card Bomberman in it. I am no expert at this deck, but I have found in the handful of games that I've played in the tournament practice room that it's been pretty fun to play. Also, will apologize if you guys hear the fireworks booming in the background through the microphone. It is 9:30 here on the East Coast, and it's time for people to set off fireworks. So this hand is great only because we have Library of Alexandria. Mental Misstep is kind of fine. I mean, I'd love to see a Force in case I'm up against a Workshop deck. But it looks like I'm up against the Blue Mirror. So unless they're doing something here, I'm not really a fan of the play Library and play 2 Moxes plan on the play, because you're basically never going to get any value out of Library of Alexandria. Okay, so we've got quite a few things that we can do here, but what I'm going to do is try and get the most out of this Library of Alexandria mirror that we're going to be entering into here, and try and draw the most cards. So our opponent played a Misty Rainforest and is already cracking it to get a Tropical Island. And they're not doing anything. That's interesting. So what we're going to do, we're going to draw a card here off of Library of Alexandria. We draw a Mox Ruby. That is absolutely perfect. And for our turn, we draw a Polluted Delta. That's fine too. So we can play 2 cards this turn. I think what we'll do is we will play Mox Sapphire and Polluted Delta. That'll leave us with 7. That gives us an opportunity to draw a card. Maybe we draw into a Mana Drain or something if they do try to play a spell this turn. And if not, we just draw a card at the end of their turn. Doesn't look like our opponent is going to do anything. I think they're probably going to try and get to 7 as fast as they can. We're going to draw another card. We draw another land. That's fine. And we draw Ancestral, which is just as good too. So I think what we're going to do here is we're not going to play Mox Ruby. I think we'll want to play Sol Ring. And we'll play Tolarian Academy. Yeah, we'll just do this. I guess maybe our opponent is considering misstepping this. I would be perfectly fine with that. No, okay. Alright, so I'll just pass the turn again here. Completely content with winning this Library of Alexandria battle. There's an argument to be made to draw a card off of Library and play Time Walk last turn, but with our opponent just basically doing nothing, I think we're content also doing nothing. Well, that's not really fair. We are doing something. We just aren't ready to do something proactive. So we drew Aether Spellbomb and Yawgmoth's Will. Neither card is really doing much for us right now, so we'll just play a Plains, and I think it's worth trying to see if we can stick this Voltaic Key. If not, there's really no harm, no foul. And if nothing else, it just gets a card out of our opponent's hand, since they are about to use Library of Alexandria. So I guess there's a case to be made that to Time Walk here. Since we have Voltaic Key, we are in a little bit of a, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna see how this works. I'm not sure this is 100% the right play, but it is certainly a play that is available to us. And the Spell Pierce might come in handy. Alright, no, we don't have to worry about that. So we could do a couple things here. We could play Ancestral Recall, Aether Spellbomb, but I think what we're going to do is just pass the turn here. And during our upkeep, we're going to draw a card off of Library of Alexandria, and we draw the Force of Will. That's perfect. That's kind of what we're really digging for at this point. So we'll play an Island, and we'll play Mox Ruby. We're at 7. We're still not, we don't really have anything to play. We're not quite there yet. We obviously want to find Voltaic Key. Yep, they're going to draw a card, that's fine. We want to draw Voltaic Key, but we aren't quite there yet. So let's see, our opponent finally used their library, and they're going to try to Thoughtseize us. That is obviously not going to be okay. We got a ton of mana, so I am going to hard cast Mental Misstep. Alright. So we are playing Oath of Druids. So that was what this was all about. Alright. I'm perfectly okay with this. So he's going to try and play with the Druids. I'm going to Spell Pierce it. And he didn't have another counterspell. Alright. So, his end step, I think what we're going to do here is Ancestral Recall, fill up our hand, and interestingly enough, I could go Snapcaster on my Ancestral Recall. I have the mana to do that. That's perfectly fine. So I think I'm going to do that. Alright, so we got Gifts and Given. We can play Gifts if we want. I think that's what we're going to do here. So let's get an Underground Sea. We have no mana, but we have enough to cast Gifts and Given on our opponent there. There we go. So what do we want to grab ourselves? We want to be able to win the game on this turn. So we want Time Vault. We want, let's see, we want, let's go with Force of Will. I think Force of Will. Where is, let's see, go Force of Will. We'll go with spell snare, and we'll go with Mages of the Future. Why not? I mean, we're in a good position because we have Yawgmoth's Will, so we can just take all the turns. He obviously put Time Vault in the graveyard. That's perfectly fine. I assume he's going to put Mages of the Future in there, but that gives us a ton of counter magic to protect our cards here. So, all right, there we go. And we drew another force for our turn, so that's pretty good. Let's play this Mox Jet. Let's play land. Let's play Yawgmoth's Will. Tap black. And we won the game. All right. So let's go to the sideboard here. Clearly that game was won off the back of Library of Alexandria. So what we want to do here, we want to bring in War Priest of Thune, we want to bring in a Grafdigger's Cage, we want to bring in Notion Thief, and we want to bring in Disenchant, and I think we want to bring in Flusterstorm for the for an inevitable counter magic war. Cards we don't want. I guess we still want Engineered Explosives. I mean that's fine. Hurkyl's Recall's probably not going to be that great. Swords to Plowshares. I guess that could be all right. I do want Spell Snare. Either Spellbomb is Spellbomb's actually better for us than Swords of Plowshares anyway against him. Spellbomb, Nile Spellbomb isn't that great. And let's see, we still need to get rid of 2 more cards. I think we want to get rid of. I don't want to get rid of Jace. Maybe we get rid of. This is pretty tough, actually. I'm not really sure what we want to take out here. Maybe we take out 1 Snapcaster Mage and. I'm thinking Grand Abolisher because that obviously doesn't really help us when we're up against with the Druids. So our opening hand is pretty unspectacular. In fact, it's quite unspectacular, in fact. So I am going to mulligan that. This hand is about 400 times better, so we're definitely going to keep this one. We got Force of Will backup in case they have something like Mox Forbidden Orchard with the Druids. At least gives us an opportunity to prevent that. There's Mox. So we're not getting. We're probably getting Thought Seized here. Oh, Brainstorm. That's perfectly fine. I'm more worried about Thought Seized right now. Although since it's Divining Top helps. Alright, Mox Pearl. And our opponent is done. Okay. That's an acceptable opening hand. Start for them. Alright, so we opened with or ripped a Mox Sapphire. That's actually kind of good for us. So I'm going to go Tundra, Mox, Sensei's Top. And I'm going to pass the turn on this. So our opponent plays Voltaic Key. And nothing. Okay. Let's see what we got on the top of our library. Alright, Emerald Island Recall. I think we know what we want to do here. I think we want maybe we want to not draw Emerald. I'm going to leave Recall second and then we'll draw into the island, just in case they've got a Thoughtseize, because that's obviously something we really don't like. We wouldn't like to see at this point. I'll just tap the Mox Sapphire and I'll play Voltaic Key of my own. If he missteps that, I'm not concerned. In fact, I'd much rather him misstep that than the Ancestral Recall. Alright, so he didn't. Okay, so our opponent is not doing anything. That's fine with us. Let's take a look at the top of our library again. Opal is not really a card I want to see. So actually what I'll do here is I'll play Emerald, Mox Opal, Ancestral Recall. We'll draw the Ancestral Recall this turn. There was an argument to be made to double draw off of Sensei's top, but I'm not really worried at this point about anything that he's doing. He's only got 3 cards. He's not really much of a threat at this point, and I can always gifts at the end of his turn. So alright, so let's go, and we have exactly 4 mana. We could gifts. We would gifts for Yogg-Will, Time Vault, and Snapcaster Mage, but we wouldn't have enough to go off next turn. So I think we're better off just drawing 3 off of Ancestral Recall here. Okay, let's see what we got on the top of our library then. Absolutely nothing. There isn't anything we can do here, and unfortunately for us, yeah. So let's go. We want to draw Flooded Strand for sure. We don't want either of these guys. So it's fine. You got my recall. Alright, Flooded Strand it is, and pass the turn. Alright, so our opponent doesn't have any green mana. So I wonder if that is part of the problem. Here comes Jace. Let's see what we got. With our new top of our library, we want to definitely get Underground Sea here. Alright, look at the top 3 cards. Time Walk, Ponder, and Black Lotus. Alright, I can get behind these cards. I think we want Black Lotus last, Ponder, Time Walk, and then Ponder. I'm alright with that. So our opponent J-Storm's here. I'm not worried about an active Jace, since the goal here right now, as things stand, is to is to time vault key out again. So it looks like our opponent found a forest. So the question here is, do we try to Gifts Ungiven now? If we gifts, I still don't think we are in a position to actually do that yet. So let's cast Ponder. Alright, we see Auriok Salvagers, Black Lotus, and Time Walk. Those are like the exact cards that we want to see. So we want to sequence these properly. I think what we want to do is we want to draw the Time Walk for sure, and Black Lotus, Salvagers, Time Walk, and we do not want to shuffle. Alright, so he forced the Time Walk. He pitched Show and Tell. Okay, so if we force his force, then we just draw Auriok Salvagers. It doesn't actually really do anything for us, so I'm okay with this. Yeah, I mean, I think Salvagers, if we had gotten the extra turn, that plan would have worked. But now that he had Force of Will, I'm not a big fan of that. Simply because I want to be able to stop something that he might have. Specifically, Oath of Druids. Alright, Encrypt, that's absolutely fine. Not really sure what that accomplishes, but alright, I'm fine with that. Alright, let's take a look at the top of our library. Mox Emerald is not really what we're looking for. Really, none of these cards are like all that exciting to us. But I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw both of those cards. That did not work the way I was expecting it to work, okay? Alright, so there's Black Lotus. Let's go ahead and play this. Let's play the Sensei's Divining Top. And let's play Auriok Salvagers. White. Alright, so I think we have enough mana here to go off. So we want to Sacrifice a blue, or sorry, white. Black Lotus, play that again. Triple white. Triple white. So this is a time-consuming process, but we should be able to generate enough mana here so that we can give some given for a perfect package here. Let's go black. We're going to need some blue mana. Alright, so let's... Unless he has Force of Will, I think we're in a little bit of a pickle. Let's see what he's got. White, black, blue. Alright, he didn't have anything. So what we want to do here is we want to grab ourselves Time Vault, Yawgmoth's Will, and Snapcaster Mage. So he has to give us one of those guys. I think we got this wrapped up. Alright. I'm going to cast Yawgmoth's Will. Alright, so we need some mana here in order to get some of this stuff out. No, undo. Alright, we won the games. Alright, so we are on to round 2.